Foreman, has the jury reached a decision?
Yes, Your Honour.
Was the decision of the jury unanimous?
No, Your Honour.
And what was the split among the jurors?
7-5, Your Honour.
And how do you find the defendant?
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Ah, good afternoon, Mr. Watson. My name is... I turned 66 last week, but everything else is spot on. But tell me, young man, how did you know about my dog? Ah, Cocker Spaniel. But I'm impressed. I can tell I've come to the right man. Dr. Watson, I have a case for you. This estate is owned by Sir Charles Baskerville. You may have heard his name. Our families have been closely linked for generations. I'm the godfather to Charlie's son, Henry. He was my best friend. My family and I have been staying for Christmas. Last week I discovered Charlie lying flat on his back in the orchard here on the grounds. Dead. Well, Charlie had pancreatic cancer, but he'd just been informed that it was in remission. The coroner concluded that he died of a heart attack. Indeed, the look on Charlie's face when I found him was unlike anything I've ever seen before. In our formerly shared profession, Dr. Watson, we've come across our fair share of cadavers. But have we ever come across one whose face was contorted with fear and anguish? I don't know what to believe, but his widow is sure he was visited by the Hound. Ah, yes, forgive me, I should have explained. The Baskerville curse is something that everyone here has heard of, but it clearly is not stretched as far as London. Tell me, sir, how familiar are you with your history of the English Civil War? Well, Hugo Baskerville was Charlie's 20 times great-grandfather. He was a royalist supporter and fought against the Roundheads. It's said that during this period he abducted a young girl from Dartmoor and killed her. The next day he was savaged by a demonic hound. Tore him to shreds apparently. The remains that they found could have fit into a bedpan. This beast has been haunting the family ever since, causing the premature deaths of a number of Baskerville heirs. As I say, I don't know what to believe. Ah, yes, Henry. If the curse is real, he'll be the next to suffer the same fate. He lives in Canada, but he's been staying in London since Charlie died. He'll be arriving shortly after us for the funeral. A development which Mrs. Baskerville is not thrilled about, to say the least. She's scared, of course, but Henry is very blasé about the whole situation. Yes, of course, I shall get to the point. During his stay in London, Henry has informed me of a few unsavory incidents. He's been receiving anonymous emails and text messages on his private number, telling him to not return to the manor. His wife also believes that they are being followed during a morning walk through the city. Not only that, one of his shoes was stolen from their hotel room as they slept. I explained all of this to your associate, Mr. Holmes, when I contacted him, and he passed me on to you. Henry should be arriving shortly. I'll send one of the staff to notify you when he does.
Excuse me, Dr. Watson, I'm sorry to interrupt. My name is Barrymore. My wife and I are in charge of the upkeep of this manor and the assistance of the Baskerville family. Dr. Mortimer has asked me to deliver 2 pieces of news to you. There's been a breakout from Dartmoor Prison, which is just on the other side of that hill. The escapee is said to be roaming the tours in that area. Dr. Mortimer would like to advise you to stay indoors during the night time, for your own safety. Mr. Henry Baskerville has arrived, sir. He would like to meet you, and has invited you into town. There are some people he would like to introduce you to. The town is around a mile in that direction. Would you like me to drive you?
Dr. Watson. So glad to finally meet you. My name is Henry Baskerville. These are my neighbours and friends, Mr. Jack Stapleton,
Afternoon, mate.
and this is his sister Beryl.
Hi.
We all grew up together. Father and their parents were very close. Went to college together, you see.
That's right, very close indeed. But what about you, Dr. Watson? Henry has yet to explain your presence, as happy as we are for it.
Well, it's been very strange, of course. What with Uncle Charlie's death and those rumours of the prison break, the atmosphere in the town has been very spooky indeed. Something bad is going to happen, I can feel it. You should never have come back, Hen.
I'll be fine, Beryl. Don't you worry about me.
But Jack wouldn't know anything about what's been going on here. He only returned this afternoon from his trip away.
Shut up! Only to Bristol, sir. For business. It was a private matter.
Dr. Watson, do you have any idea who has been sending these messages to me? I'm not so worried, but it certainly would do my wife a world of good to know that this matter is sorted quickly. Of course, I'll forward you the list. But Dr. Watson, are you suggesting that the phone number fell into the wrong hands? Or that the person responsible is someone that I know very well? No, sir. I don't think so. We spoke on the phone in the early evening. He mentioned he had a meeting later, but didn't say who with. I didn't ask with whom, because, well, I didn't know it was going to be important. But anyway, it's beginning to get dark. May I offer you a lift back to the house? We shouldn't be out too late with everything that's going on.
You're welcome to stay at our place, Doctor. Ah! Blimey, Dr. Watson, you scared the life out of me. May I be of any assistance? What the hell are you doing up at this hour? I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Fine, you've caught me. I'll do anything you want, just don't go to the police. Who was he meeting? Let me think. He said he was meeting a journalist from the Dartmoor Gazette. I think her name began with an L. That's all I know, I swear. Yes, sir. I kept a record of all the numbers Sir Charles and Henry have called, sir. Yes, sir, I understand, sir.
Watson, my boy, took you long enough. Pull yourself together, man. You'll come across many surprises in this line of work. You need to be able to handle meeting an old friend. Well, I have to say, after Dr. Mortimer's visit, my interest is piqued. I had heard of the Curse of the Baskervilles from my father when I was a child, and I knew there had to be some kind of explanation, but until now, I didn't have a reason to examine the matter closely. But now you have, Watson, so tell me, what have you found? Well, come on, Watson, spit it out. Who do you think is responsible for the menacing texts? And who do you think was responsible, if anyone, for the death of Sir Charles? Go on. Very good. I can tell you've come a long way. You've constructed a very intriguing story. Do you think this will stand up in court? Ah, no, sir. This is your case. I am asking you.
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Perhaps this is just one example of the many miscarriages of justice you will have to get used to if you are to continue in this line of work, Watson. Or, you know, maybe he wasn't the killer. Let's return to the manor. I will explain there. We must be very quiet. We can't give away our location. For God's sake, Watson, have I taught you nothing? Think, man, think! Why did you not meet Miss Lyons? Why was I there in her place? Because I had her moved into protective custody. She was working with the killer, but crumbled under my questioning. But with whom was she working, Watson? And consider this. Mr. Barrymore was here when Henry was being followed because he was contacting the escaped convict. His wife's brother. Honestly, Watson, did you not even bother to check the public records? Why did I bother giving them to you? Think about the details of the case again. But Jack wouldn't know anything about what's been going on here. He only returned this afternoon from his trip away.
Shut up!
It's easily done. One can be so engrossed with the idea of solving the mystery that they just shove a square peg into a round hole. Your instincts can only be trusted if you have adequately examined all the evidence. I wouldn't be so sure. Look who's coming down the road. We're using him as bait, just as Stapleton did with Miss Lyons. If we are correct about Stapleton, then he won't be far behind Mr. Baskerville here. And he won't be alone. Excellent marksmanship, Watson. A moving target from this distance? Quite magnificent.
Jack? What? Why? How could you have done this? You're my friend.
You bastard! Your family has been nothing but a blight to mine. Your bloody philandering father is the reason my parents split up. He didn't realise how lucky he was, and neither do you!
Jack, I still don't understand. Huh? But then, why would he want me dead? Jack, is this true?
Excellent work, Watson. I have to say, I'm impressed. I never expected you to get your first case perfectly, but now the right man is detained, and you prevented the murder of a client. You should be very proud of yourself.